Thank you, Mr President. I seek leave to make a brief explanation before addressing a question without notice to the Minister for Public Sector on the topic of public school teachers.
Leave is granted. The Honourable Mr Sims.
Thank you, Mr President. I was concerned the Attorney-General was missing out, so I thought I'd better ask him a question. Yesterday, the Advertiser reported that public school teachers may strike again in week 9 of the school term if the government does not accept their request by the start of December. The Australian Education Union President, Andrew Gold, was quoted in the article as saying, and I quote, "Industrial action is certainly part of what we are considering. All we've got as leverage is our labour." So there were two options, really. Either strike in week 9 or strike in the upcoming year. We're trying to increase salaries to attract and retain, and it's important for the government to understand that unless we have those measures, we will continue to lose teachers. My question to the Minister, therefore, is, can the Minister update the Chamber on the progress of negotiations with the Australian Education Union? And will the government commit to meeting the teachers' demands to reduce the pressure on teachers and ensure we can retain the skilled workforce we need in our public schools?
General.
The honourable member for his question and his interest in this area, and I can absolutely assure the member that the government will continue talking, negotiating and bargaining in good faith. There have been meetings as recently as this week between representatives of the government and representatives of the union that represent teachers in this state. I think I'd outlined in this chamber before, and certainly it's been publicly reported, that the government has put forward to date 3 offers to the teachers' union, each offer being in totality of greater value than the last. And I think all of the 3 offers in the escalating value having been in totality the biggest offers that have ever been made as part of an enterprise bargaining negotiation with the teachers' union. I think the 3rd offer that was put, and I can't remember exactly how long ago, but sometime, I think it was early last week, Monday afternoon, last week, so a week and a half ago, in value was sunk somewhere between $1.4 and $1.5 billion of additional funding, comprised of a number of factors, sir. It partly comprised of increased pay, but also comprised of other things that the teachers' union have put forward as important to them, particularly non-instructional time. One of the issues that the teachers' union has raised that the government has given in principle support for in the negotiations, pending a final resolution, is a reduction in 1 hour per week of non-instructional time. There is a discussion underway about how quickly that escalates under the government's 3rd offer that was to be introduced over 7 years, the 7 different categories of schools, with the most needing schools being the first ones introduced in the first year for that 1 hour less of non-instructional time. And simply as a matter of practicality, it would be difficult to do it much sooner than those 7 years. I know the teachers' union and most people would wish you could do it a lot quicker, but given, as the head of the teachers' union, Andrew Gold, talks about being a teacher shortage, not just in South Australia but right around Australia, to have 1 less hour of non-instructional time a week, you would either be 1 less hour of teaching children, which is something I don't think either the union or the government or any South Australian would like to see, less time children being taught in schools. That would mean extra teachers. To have that 1 extra hour a week, you would need 500, I think it's 502 or 503 additional teachers being employed. That, of course, would cost a substantial sum, but given the views expressed that there is a teacher shortage crisis around the country, it would be almost impossible to fill those positions. So we are continuing to negotiate. We will continue to negotiate, bearing in mind that, all the competing factors that weigh in industrial negotiations. And as I've said, we have successfully completed negotiations with a number of public sector unions, the first one I think being the ambulance officers that are employed in South Australia, that for the whole of the term of the last government did not have a single pay rise. They were 4 years without a pay rise. Early on in the term of this government, we resolved that enterprise bargain and gave back pay for all of the years that were missed out. We have concluded negotiations since then with the firefighters, with the nurses in the public sector, and these things do take some time, but I am pleased that everyone is back around the negotiating table, and hopefully we'll have a resolution as soon as we possibly can, weighing up all the factors and needing to be a government that's responsible with taxpayers' money, but looking to make sure we are appropriately paying and appropriately taking into consideration our teachers' workloads.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Mr Sims, arising from the answer, of course.
Of course. Can the Minister commit to resolving the matter by Christmas?
I think the honourable member for his question. I'm not going to put an artificial deadline on exactly when things will be resolved. Often, particularly with something as complicated as the team precedent, it typically has taken many, many months. As I say, I'm pleased that everybody's back around the negotiating table this week, and I think everybody wishes it to be resolved as quickly as possible, but it needs to be resolved not just responsibly, but in a way that can practically work.